I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
It's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro?
You are.
Stop, bro! Stop, bro, help me and stop!
All right, welcome to Straight Red Card. A lot of chatter going on in the X-verse right now about Sargent and, Pulisic making a unique gesture, which we'll get into. But I did also want to get into this. I'd like to do a Jeopardy game between. Don't you play that? Don't you guys play Jeopardy?
You're going to have to give more context as far as when I play Jeopardy.
I don't know, with your friends and stuff. Don't you have like online Jeopardy or something like that?
No, I mean we'll do trivia board games and stuff like that, but no, we don't do online Jeopardy.
I bet you we kill Pete and Tact in Jeopardy. Just general overall Jeopardy. We would destroy them.
Yeah, what the fuck did I send you on that question?
Yeah,
it comes up on Jeopardy. What was that?
I don't know.
I gotta find that. I forgot I even brought that up. But I will say though, speaking of our conversations back and forth, Derek, what was up with you texting me Sunday morning at 4:30?
I got up in the middle of the night. I don't know. I went to bed at 2. I think I got up after a couple hours and I felt refreshed. And I thought, I'll jump on Twitter. Why not?
I'm asleep and hearing ding, thinking that it's
sorry
on the wife and everything like that. So I grab my phone and I look at it and it's you. And I look at the time; it's 4:30, and I put it back down. Ding, ding. Finally, I'm like, I answered all 3 of your text messages with I don't know, dude. I've got to be up in an hour and a half for a game with Jackson at 8 o'clock.
I felt bad.
Back in bed. Did not sleep very well for that hour and a half. I'll put it that way.
Oh, yes, I did.
Far more energetic than the kids were at the game, though.
Yeah. Did have a nice axe throwing thing with the workmates. And I have to say, my team won the first head-to-head because I hit a bullseye with an axe. Yeah. I needed, 6 points to close out the game, and I nailed the 6-pointer. That is the bullseye, I believe. So it was a lot of fun. And then we made a big mistake, and we went to the old spaghetti factory downtown. Yeah. That was a big mistake. That's not Italian food. I don't care what you call it, but it's not Italian food. I ordered the white clam sauce, and it was essentially clams in a bechamel sauce. That's not how you make white clam sauce. I don't. And all bechamel is like milk and flour. What the fuck is that? It's disgusting. Anyhow, it had no flavor, no salt, no pepper, no garlic. It felt like was completely unseasoned. What are you looking at?
I found the I don't like clams, so I'm just doing that part out. But I found the Jeopardy question.
Oh.
It was about saddle making. Ooh, saddle making.
Yes, and you sent me a picture of a saddle with a small penis. I'm like, that's a small penis for a horse.
There we go. Oh, yep, right there. See it?
Quite small.
Derek, that is the girth.
It's not the length.
I'm laughing at that, everything like that. I sent it to you. I'm way back from Chad's house, and Jackson goes, "What are you laughing at?" And I handed back my phone. He goes, "That's a penis."
Yes, it is. All right, a little education there for him. By the way, tonight I am drinking the 6th glass by Boulevard. Quite good. It's their quad. And for a domestic quad, once again, I got no complaints. I don't see the percentage on here, though. But again, I'm kind of blind at this range. Need some light is what I need. Here, let me get my lighter out here. What in the hell? Oh, it just says 12 fluid ounces.
Derek, you can never explain how old you like. Tell how old you are without telling how old you are when you start doing stuff like this.
Yeah, I can't see shit. Close up or far away. It sucks. All right. Well, it is. We'll get to Sargent, by the way. Don't worry about that. And the whole discussion. It is, it needs to be a little more nuanced than it is right now. It can't be this black and white, but we'll get to it. Also, it was discovered that the girls' squirts, sexual squirts.
You're jumping ahead.
We'll just pull that one up.
Pull it up. You buzz.
I was right. Just saying that it's mostly urine. Right? It's urine. All that.
It made a lot more sense with the other two fluff that go with it. But let's go out of order, Derek. Let's go out of order. Here's my question. Why do the Japanese scientists have to use dye to study it?
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Why couldn't they just take a sample of just, hey, pee in this cup. Okay, now squirt in this cup.
Yeah, well, I got it. The squirting part's going to be a little bit more difficult, I think. But a simple pH test would have given you the answer, right? Why do you need dye? I don't get it either.
The dye is worthless. I don't know what they must have been doing something else on top of that.
Must be, but it is. But not entirely, it says urine. Well, what else is in there? Let us know. But yeah, it's pretty obvious when you are doing research on the porn industry that's pretty much all urine. Anyhow, looks like it to me. Also,
there we got it. Colin maybe explains it here. Urine activates the dye, so that way when they squirt it comes out blue. I guess. Maybe the Japanese are just big into Smurfs.
It seems to me, I'm agree with you. Just take the take a sample and test it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's not rocket science.
No, this cannot be that hard to figure out the what else is in it part.
Here we go. Here, 2 girls, 1 cup. Scientists say it. Poop. It's poop.
All right, what else you got, Brett?
Well, let's kind of go. Speaking of squirting, kind of funny. I don't really care what happened to the thing, but it's the perfect positioning, and he's just sitting there like hunched over. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
do you think the camera guy maneuvered that to make sure that it was always right there? But now it's gone.
It looks accidental. It does look accidental, but it is quite funny. Yeah.
Well, we found out, because I'm a scientist and I do research too. I figured out what caused this. What's the cause of this this video? Afternoon storms. That's what it is.
Is that real too?
Yeah.
On a real broadcast?
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man.
I mean, it's unfortunate on the shape, and especially right where the border is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just him going like this, but it's obviously just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right. By the way, we missed a super chat, apparently.
Yeah, we were talking about squirting, so
okay.
We were a little preoccupied there.
Luxia says for 5. Thank you, brother. Hey, Brett, knowing you guys are indie guys, I managed to find some popcorn called Cousin Willie's. This stuff is amazing. It is Indiana grown corn. Well, not surprising, because there's a whole lot of corn in Indiana. And I will say, we do have some of the best summer corn ever. If you go out and buy it, like on the side of the road, they have them out there selling them. Don't go to your grocery store, because you can go to a market or something. You'll get the best, fresh, tasty-ass, sweet-ass corn. It's great stuff. So one positive from living in Noblesville with all those farms around the burbs, and me being easily within driving distance of it. So always have good corn.
Here we go. Just Cousin Willie's popcorn.
Yep. Corn made in Indiana. I don't know if the company is in Indiana. Is it? I don't know. I've had Cousin Willie's. It's quite good.
I don't know. I've never had it before in my life.
I don't have as much. So I get stomach issues when I eat like popcorn. Not corn, but popcorn. The kernel stuff, the hard stuff, it's just really difficult for my stomach to digest.
I'll take kettle corn any day of the week.
I saw this. Is Robert Plant Led Zeppelin one of the greatest singers ever? Sometimes he is. I'd say he's in that category. I would also say other times he needs to shut the fuck up because he almost single-handedly ruined some songs with all his screeching and sometimes he sounds like a woman having an orgasm. And I'm like, God, I don't want to listen to this. Why don't they mute him during this part of the song? Because he's annoying. But anyhow, it is what it is. Can be great, can be annoying. That's the two things you get from Robert Plant. Mostly good, but some songs you listen to and just say, shut the fuck up and just let, Jimmy go nuts on the guitar, man. Just get out of the way. Let him be the star. You don't need to moan over every part where you're not singing. That's all I would say.
Yeah.
All right.
And anyways, it couldn't be the greatest singer in Derek's book because Eddie Vedder's still there.
Even flow. Yes, Eddie Vedder. No, he's all right. I like Eddie Vedder. All right.
I like Eddie Vedder, yeah.
But I don't think he's anywhere near. I don't know if the bands I listen to, none of them are classically singers. Like people would often say Bob Dylan's a horrible singer. He's not. He might be not your bag of tricks, but I think he's
not
a great
Freddie
singer.
Mercury, is what you're saying.
No, Freddie Mercury is kind of the combo of not only having almost an operatic voice, but also just being a really good rock and roll singer, right?
Yeah.
How do you get the best of both worlds there?
You never fix your teeth, apparently.
Oh, I don't think that had anything to do with it. For him.
There's an interview where he said he was never gonna get dental work fixing his jawline and stuff like that, or
his overbite,
because he assumed it would fuck up his singing ability.
It could temporarily. I think he would have figured it out. Jeff Buckley's another good call. Don't even no Nickelback.
Jeff from Nickelback, yeah.
No Nickelback, please.
There's a meme, not a meme. There's an AI song that was going around that it's the photograph song from Nickelback. It goes, look at this photograph. It's a photograph in a photograph, and it's just the entire song is him singing that, basically, just different versions of it.
Yeah,
old Tiny song version of it too. Oh, it's hysterical.
Tiny Tim, I like that. Shout out, Fumar. Holy Tiny Tim. Boy, had that super high voice and his little ukulele. All right, what else we got? So no, he's not the greatest singer ever. Not even close.
We're going to hit up a topic that we meant to hit up last time. Just, ran out of fluff time and had to come back to this.
Right.
But Middle Ages pet peeves.
Yeah, it's not only that the archers are ordered to fire in a period film. Nobody said fire. They might say release or something like that.
It's usually release.
Because the word
loose.
Fire.
That's the one, loose.
Loose, yeah, release, loose. But also, they never did this. No, they never pointed 6,000 miles up into the sky as if they were shooting at the sun. No, they aimed at their targets. And that's just a huge myth.
Wasn't that the main point of the longbows, that you could, shoot significantly further than the short bows and stuff?
But you didn't need to point it up that high.
What if you're aiming to pop the sun so that way your enemy can't see you?
No, it's a waste of all those arrows. They're just kind of hovering down like they're falling out of the sky. It's all bullshit.
That's
not how it works. The longbow was rare. It was mostly a Welsh and English thing, although there were other countries that tried to take it up too, but nobody could match because in English law, you were born a boy, you had to learn how to use the longbow. It was a rule. Every boy had to learn how to use them. So that's smart. That's basically training your defense force right there. Right? But no, they never pointed it in the air this high. They were always looking at a target when they let loose.
First off, this picture's taken out of context. There could be a dragon up there. You don't know.
A dragon. No, there were no dragons in the medieval ages. I just want people to know that. They do know that.
Yeah.
All right. Johnny's calling bullshit, but I have no idea.
Yeah, so the what was the guy on YouTube who does the animated reviews of
movies?
Mythological movies. Not mythological movies, but just like historical movies.
History buff. Yeah. Yep.
He loses his mind anytime the archers like light their arrows on fire.
Oh God, yeah.
Like nobody does that.
As soon as you let loose, the fire goes out.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
The only time you might do that, if you set up a trap,
Oh, it's another irritating thing, honestly. All right, what else we got? So I got that out of the way. Oh, somebody's texting you now.
I know.
Hopefully, it's good news.
He's wow. Double tap that, and I just closed something out. And I don't even know what it was now. Well.
Matter of elimination at this point.
We've been talking about the Apple TV numbers, and things might not be that great, and a lot of people have a lot of takes on the Apple TV contract. Well, if the numbers were good for MLS as far as the number of people buying the season pass and not getting it free for being a T-Mobile or something like that,
it's not good.
Do you think DraftKings would really be putting on place a $5 bet on soccer and you'll get a free season pass?
Really?
Yeah.
$5? What am I fucking wasting my money for?
Nah, that's what I thought when I saw this. However, the Hangry Asian, which is one of our listeners, he's like, hey, I was never going to spend whatever $85, $95 or whatever just for the season pass, but I'll spend $5 and get it.
Yeah.
He went on there, placed a bet. The code and the directions they gave him didn't work.
Ooh.
And I don't know if that was a user error or what, but oh my God.
Yeah. Anyhow,
I wonder how many people did this. It was like, what the fuck?
I mean, it could have been user error, so we don't know. I mean, obviously, we could have done some research for the show and found out if that was sort of a wider, broader thing, but I didn't hear any complaints about it, so might have just been user error. Yeah. All right, yeah. I mean, it's really unfortunate. We're paying through the asshole for this MLS pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all I had to do is make a $5 bet to get it.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be something else because this obviously there's the reason they did it 4 weeks into the season, 5 weeks into the season, because the diehards of the league who have to pay for the actual pass would have already paid for it at this point. This is just trying to get more people into it because the numbers clearly aren't there.
Yeah. Green Great Basin says Taylor Twellman MLS shill on his knees for Don Garber. His "what are we doing" rant is not even that good. Terrible in hindsight. Well, yeah, he's obviously compromised. He works for MLS, so of course he's an MLS show. If you were getting your paycheck from MLS, which is what he is doing, you're going to show for MLS. That's just how it goes. Or you're going to compromise. You are compromised. We don't really use the word show. You're compromised or you're not.
Colin said that MLS Pass is $12 a month. Unless you have Apple TV. If you're paying for Apple TV, you can buy the yearly subscription.
Right.
And it's like $85.
Yeah.
But you're also paying $6.99 or whatever for Apple TV too.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're getting fucked from both ends.
Well, I was doing the math because I was having this back and forth conversation with somebody about this, some MLS fans. And I was like, well, I mean, I can watch ESPN, all the ESPN games for like $5 a month. And they're like, no, you can't get them. Like, well, it's part of a bundled package.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pay $7 plus for Disney Plus the ESPN Plus, and then I get $1 for Hulu. So it all equaled about the exact same amount that I would pay for MLS. But again, all the different leagues that I get for ESPN is just there's more value. So
Right. You get Dutch, Belgium. I mean, yeah, it's worth it.
yeah.
Right.
I don't know. This was kind of funny. I laughed. I tagged a bunch of people who didn't believe me because I posted on tax posts about MLS numbers.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What? I don't believe you." I'm like, tag.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I remember the one. I'm going to go find it, but I'm going to post the next one here. Okay.
Okay. What's going on? You're leaving?
No. I'm going to I'm going to pull up the tweet I accidentally deleted.
Oh, okay. Statement from Davies' camp. Alphonso Davies, agent Nadal Hussein, tells our Christian Jack following his client's injury, "I'm very disappointed. Alphonso was not 100% after the Mexico game, and it was planned that he was not going to start against the USA. On Saturday night, the expectation was he would not be in the 11. As a captain, I feel he was pressured to start in the game by the coach. Alphonso is not the kind of guy to say no to those moments. He ended up playing, and look what happened. Canada soccer needs to do a better job managing these players, in my opinion. Fonzie is down and obviously really disappointed about this injury, and it's all Jesse March's fault." Whatever, dude. Why? If you're Alphonso Davies, why are you letting your agent put this shit out?
Maybe Davies really feels that way, though.
Well, then he's building a really poor relationship with his coach and his manager right now. Because this is not what you do. You got a problem, get on the phone with Jesse Marsh. If you're the agent, you say, "Listen, we're really upset about this. This can't happen going forward." Or you find out what really happened. Because I very much doubt that Jesse Marsh sat around pressurizing Alphonso Davies to play the game. And if they're suing Canada, I guess we'll find out soon enough. But if Jesse Marsh is pressuring him to play the game, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I can see it happening, though.
Were we talking just recently in the span of the world, life in general? Were we just talking recently about how Canada Federation is basically bankrupt at this point? And they can't get like a Canadian billionaire to sort of like front them some monies or whatever. We're joking about that.
They had 70-something odd billionaires. They can't get one to pony up a couple mil.
But I guess the point of bringing that up is that he said that they're suing Canada. I'm like, well,
good luck.
If there's no money there, what are you going to get from them?
Squeezing water from a stone is what you're going to get. Good luck with that. All right.
One of Jesse Marsh's yearly rates, I guess. I don't know.
Did Jesse Marsh have a comment on this? I don't think he did. Probably not.
Why would
it's better that he does it for
internal,
legal reasons too. So, all right. Well, his agent's trying to protect his brand. I mean, but what's he protecting? He just got injured. It's not like it was his fault or he's some weakoid who plays poorly or something. I mean, he doesn't have the greatest last couple seasons with Bayern, but
so I mean. I guess from a why did he even play standpoint, it was a third place match in Nations League, and if he had that issue against in the Mexico match, why even play him? It's not like this is Jesse Marsh's first camp with Canada. He knows Davies well enough at this point that it was just a dumb decision to play him if he had that issue against Mexico, like in the Mexico game, I believe is what happened.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. Just seems kind of dumb from a managerial standpoint, but at this point, that's the name of the game. I mean, what are they possibly going to sue about?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Right. And then who's this from?
This is Chambers.
Yeah, says I don't know whether to be insulted by comparison or not. Help me out. Based on your tweets, this is Grok, so I'm sorry. Based on your tweets, you sound like Alexi Lawless, a former U.S. men's national team player and current analyst. Your focus on U.S. men's national team analysis with knowledgeable, critical.
Do you think the robot would pronounce that like analyst?
Yeah, your analyst with a knowledgeable, critical yet supportive tone mirrors his style on X. Both of you blend humor and insight, engaging fans effectively. All right. Well, that's probably a good thing. Though I'm sure there are some vast differences between you and Alexi on a lot of other issues and specific issues. But yeah, we were having our own back and forth with Alexi this week, privately, about the whether or not the U.S. men's national team cares or not. I can't remember what he said, so I don't think he'd mind if we shared what his ultimate. Let me see here. Here it is. So ultimately, he said, and this is kind of long. I can absolve them to a certain extent. We, as a soccer culture, have been the architect of this generation. We have given them, for a very young age, all the advantages and opportunities that we didn't have. I'm proud of that. But somewhere along the way, we disregarded or downplayed the part of our DNA that enabled us as a nation to compete despite soccer not being king. We made up for the lack of inherent history related to the game by working harder and being bastards. It served us well, but we came to see it as raw and regressive. Now, that's how we see that, raw and regressive. We not only apologize for it, but we look down on it. Then in our effort to evolve and mature, we turned our back on it. It's understandable and maybe even predictable for a country like ours. Good news is that it can be reclaimed. At least I believe it can be. Oh, well, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. That was a long reply and that back and forth. But I agree. I agree with him.
Yeah, I think people are kind of agreeing with our take, because I mean that was the big narrative. Really, was the U.S. the team right now. They just don't care. They just don't care. And then we had our segment come out. Saying, well, I don't think it's the fact of what
with Pete.
No, it was before Pete.
That's true. But we did it with Pete too.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, well, it's the same idea where I think people are kind of agreeing, but then kind of shifting what their stance is. Maybe it wasn't a lack of caring, but it was this.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that's fine. You can definitely have that agreement. Our point is that I think everybody who's taking the pitch cares to some varying degree.
Right.
It's just they may be either sloppy, they may be out of shape, they may not have played in a long time. There are other reasons.
Well, the biggest one being the no chip on shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm already big time. I'm already big stuff. I got nothing to prove to anybody. I'm already got the biggest cock in the room. Well, I don't need to prove that I have a big cock to anybody. Look at it. It's huge. I play for Milan. Look at my large member. I play for Juventus. Yeah, I think that's a part of the problem. And that's chip on your shoulder. That's not, I don't care. That's just arrogance. And arrogance can be a horrible thing, especially when it is beyond your actual real skill level. And
well, I mean, to your point there, if the other team, whether it's Panama or Canada in this case, go in harder on a tackle, all of a sudden you're kicked off of your game and you're like a little miffed, because you're miffed in the sense like, why are you tackling me? You know who I am? Type of mentality in that sense.
Well, I'm sure there's some of that, but some of that is good. I mean, Dempsey certainly had that attitude. Like, why are you talking to me? You know who I am, right?
Well, Dempsey would then go in on a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
whereas only the three guys that seem to play with a chip on their shoulder with variable levels of success were obviously Luna, who was quite good, Aguiman, who definitely put his body on the line for that game. Shut up, Brett. And then Arson, who was barely competent, but at least he tried.
Gio had limited time, but I thought he
yes, Gio too. Yeah,
the go hard on a tackle and then start a little kerfuffle.
Yeah, I mean it's too late for that. We need more of that earlier, and we didn't get any. And yeah, I like being kind of an asshole on occasion. I think that's something, or as Alexi put us to PM. Bastards. You got to be a bastard.
Do you think that little cheap shot by Gio was sort of a get back for the leg broken in the last Nations League?
I don't know about that.
You think he's just like, I'm going to go in on somebody, and I'm whatever.
It wasn't hard enough for that, but
I don't think he was aiming to injure somebody, but I mean, you could still get retaliate and just knock them on their ass, or
right. I don't even think these guys go into the games, by the way, thinking, "Oh, I don't care about this game." That's certainly not in their minds. But not coming out with a chip on your shoulder like you got something to prove might be a little harder to do in a third place game. Okay, might be. But you just got your ass handed to you by Panama in the dying minutes of the game. Wouldn't you come out with a chip saying, "But I ain't losing to fucking Canada. No way in hell this is happening"? No, it was better. It was better, but it was still a loss. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm just scrolling through ahead of time just to see what's what. Okay. Okay, so wanted to, before we jumped into any former Yanks Abroad, wanted to cover a couple of players because we had a number of posts and everything that came up with them. So,
can I read something real quick?
Oh, sure, go for it.
Here. Oh, he just scrolled off, of course. Aguiman, Arsene, Luna should not be getting serious minutes in a World Cup if we want to get out of the group. Okay, a couple things since I saw this earlier. I'm worried about us getting out of the group. You do realize how many teams are going to be in the next World Cup and how the groups are going to be structured. We're going to get out of that group because being the home team, especially in the way the seeding works, we're going to get two relatively very crappy teams in our group. So if we don't get out of that, then, I mean, we got serious issues.
Knock it on the wood there, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get out of the group regardless, and that would be even if those three guys were on the team. However, I don't think Aguiman or Arsene have really any chance in hell of making that team when it all comes down to it and all is said and done. Maybe, but I doubt it. Although Arsene did have an assist again this weekend. Luna, however, I think has proven that, he might have a shot at it.
Let's cover this player by player. Aguiman doesn't stand a chance.
No.
Even if you want to assume he's up to stock with the U.S. men's national team,
unless there's a shitload of injuries.
Yeah, exactly. I would say he's sitting at least fourth and below range.
Right.
Arsene, hey, that backup left back spot is wide open. But the question is when Des gets back, do we even need to bother with a backup left back?
No, because you got Scally, and hopefully down the line you get Nathaniel Brown.
Well, it also depends on how we play too, because at that point all we have to do is look for somebody who can play kind of a wingback role too.
Yeah, although this weekend Nathaniel Brown played left midfielder, so he can do that too. So even more reason to bring him in because he can play multiple positions. But who cares, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Poach doesn't.
And as you said with Luna, I think Luna's kind of made a name for himself, especially with Poach at this point, as far as just being one of the few players that are really just giving it all at this point. And he's also creative. So, I mean, if you want to look at a starting 11, I mean, just at this point, just remove Musa, push McKinney back with Adams, and then throw Luna or insert a creative midfielder here at that role.
And if Brain is still kind of like not in a favorable position as far as Poach is concerned, what is your other option? It isn't Aronson. He's not really. I mean, Aronson thinks he's a CAM, but I've never seen such an uncreative CAM in my life. So, no, it's Luna or Reyna. I think or Tillman. And Tillman's just getting back, so we'll see how that goes. He was all right. I mean, obviously, he's going to be rusty coming back, but anyhow, we'll get into that with the Yanks Abroad later. Anyhow, all right, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So instead of waiting for you to get to a few players on there, I just wanted to cover a couple players and saving the Sargent topic till the end when we talk about U.S. men's national team. So, first player, obviously, let's just cover Pulisic's disrespected at AC Milan topic here.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more clear he wasn't disrespected. It's becoming more clear that he walked over and handed Santi. He immediately started talking to him.
Here you go, buddy.
And this is
confidence.
You're down 2-0. Your game, you're down 2-0. Okay, and you need a goal to get back in this game. This is not a time for compassionate empathy towards a player who's having a rough time and needs a goal to get out of his funk. He's got a funk for a reason. All right? Plus, this guy's competing for your fucking job. Especially if you want, and they decide they're going to continue to play him as a second striker like they did through portions of the second half in that game, AC Milan. What, you're just going to hand that guy your job by getting his confidence up? Okay, that's really nice of you. However, it shows a real lack of maturity for me. And, okay, now's not the time to be gifting out handouts to players who need to go. How has that gone when somebody else has taken a PK this season, Christian?
Very well. Hold on, the other one that the one that is in question, his first one, he just pussyfooted out of.
Yes.
I forgot who was it? Was it Tammy that took it?
Yes.
So Tammy just took it, he grabbed the ball, walked over, and Pulisic was like, okay, and walked away.
Teo did it too to him.
Yeah.
They both missed. All right, they both missed. You've missed out in your career, professional career, you are 19 for 20. No, you don't let anybody, A, grab the ball out of your hand, or B, gift out PKs. That's called shirking your fucking responsibility when your team is down 2-0. It's a chicken shit thing to do. You may think you were being nice. You may think you were being friendly and maybe trying to build up his confidence. What the fuck? That's not your job. It's his job to build his confidence up. Score the goal. Then score another one. Then score another one. You're up 3-2 and you want to give the guy the ball to build his confidence. Go ahead. You're up 3-2. But not when you're down 2-0. This is poor leadership, bad thinking. And just, it's the ultimate pussy move. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the FC Extra Time crew want to talk about that. Figure we just listen to a little bit of it.
Yeah, sure.
Just to see what they have to say about it.
I may have missed this.
Because he was trying to give Santi some confidence.
No, I don't think so. So what's happened now that Jimenez has missed the penalty? Does that mean he's actually taken away his confidence? I just like to see business as usual. If it's a penalty and you're the penalty taker, take it, score. We can all move on. If Santi wants some confidence, let's work on some shooting and training tomorrow. Let's not have this moment now to try and do this because it doesn't always work out that way. And as we can see, Milan is struggling this season, and that sort of incident doesn't make it any easier for them.
And this is why he should never be captain of the United States men's national team as well. This is poor decision making. It's the wrong time to be empathetic. And your team's down 2-0, and they need you to do desperately what you've done most of the time. You've been taking penalties for them.
Where's the fucking hero ball that we see with the U.S. men's national team at AC Milan? I'm not saying that he needs to play hero ball there, but get a pair and flat out state no PKs are my domain, bitch.
So all our players are on sack alert, ball sack alert, all of them for me right now, and I'm sick of this shit. Except for, obviously, Luna's not on sack alert because he's got a pair.
Yeah. In Poach's word, he's got big balls.
So I'm going to be up the ass of all these players from here on out on sack alert. You either show me you've got some, you got a pair, or I'm going to start calling you out. Because, for instance, how long did we have to call Sargent out?
It's sack alert, actually.
Yes. We had to call Sargent out for a whole fucking season at Norwich.
Whole season, yeah.
Because he played like a little fucking pussy who wouldn't demand the ball and refused to be the man. Had a baby, came back, became a man, and played like one. Now, he doesn't bring, unfortunately for Sargent, that attitude to the U.S. men's national team because there are other bigger stars. Fuck that. You go in, Sargent. You fucking you request the ball. When you get open, you put your hands down, say, I'm fucking open, pass me the fucking ball. And when they don't pass you the ball, you say, hey, I was fucking wide open. That's what he had to do at Norwich. And he finally started doing it. And what happened? He went from being a sackless wonder to actually being one of the best scorers in the fucking EFL. Now, he's got to take that attitude and I'm calling it out from here on out. When I see sackless shit, that's what I'm calling. And that's kind of one of the problems for Sargent with U.S. men's national team. He is not the stud on the team like he is at Norwich. Now, he could claim that. He could claim to be a stud. I mean, really, wasn't Sargent, in a way, also, when he was much younger, thought of as a prodigy? He was. He was, to the point where he was playing for the U23s when he was 17 years old. Yes, he was thought of as a prodigy when he was 16, I think. It might have been 16.
He played in the same summer. He played for the U17s and the U20s in the same summer.
Yeah, okay.
In the World Cup. I guess we can no, I'm going to save this Josh Sargent segment for later as a whole. But yeah, we're talking about two different styles of play and two different types of teams where the U.S. men's national team look for different players, quite frankly. And yes, Sargent could go over there, throw his hands up in the air and all that stuff. But it comes down to how we're playing. And, fuck it, we're already in this topic here.
Well, hold on. I'm not asking him to throw his hands in the air and act like Gio Reyna, all right? I'm asking him to demand the ball, and when he doesn't get it, to let the guy know, I was fucking open, which you see him do in Norwich all the time now. He'll turn around and he'll look at Sainz and say, hey, I was right here, dude. You missed me.
Unfortunately, though, the issue is that's because at Norwich, he is the man. And unfortunately, the way this team has been organized and developed over the last 6 years, it is find Pulisic.
I know. And that needs to end. And if you're the center forward, like Balogun did after that game, where he was pissed at fucking Berhalter and pissed the whole fucking team at the end of the game, and he came off, he let him know, hey, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy about my service. And I'm fucking angry about it. You guys don't lift your fucking head up and look for me. Balogun confronted the coach and the team. That's what needs to happen. That's called having a pair of fucking balls. You can call it arrogant if you want, but that's what he did. Now, Pepe's a little quieter, honestly, and I don't think he's had the service issues as much. But
I think with Pepe, though, I think the problem for Pepe, and quite frankly, will be for Sargent when well, I don't know if that's going to be the issue with under Poach, but when Greg was the coach, at least in that when Balogun first came over, Pepe was only seeing 20 minutes at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So there was less opportunity for that because at that point we either had the lead and we're shutting down our offensive presence, or he doesn't have to worry about it. Yeah. So it's that's a bit of a different scenario in that sense. But then when Pepe was the starter because Balogun got injured, I mean he was fine. He was moving around, he was getting the positions, he was asking for the ball. I don't know if he was asking for the ball. I have to go back and rewatch that and find out. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this. We do remember Balogun being pissed off. And that's what we need. We need people who are getting pissed when they don't get the service they need, or they're making the runs and nobody's lifting their fucking head. This whole team is on sackless alert, I guess we'll call it now, because that's what I'm sick of having a team full of nice guys. I'm fucking sick of it.
I was about to ask you, I'm like, do you think this is more of a soccer cultural difference here? Because Balogun grew up obviously in England, playing through youth ranks there, where you had to stand out, you had to demand, you had to do all this stuff. Whereas, if you're the top dog at U.S. men's national team right now, you were the top dog through your clubs. Everybody was already looking for you. I mean, it was. I really feel like there's a cultural difference when it comes to the mentality of the game from those who are developed stateside, who have, are developed through that youth system compared to abroad.
Yeah. So let's compare it to the generation before this. Players with massive balls, Jermaine Jones, Clint Dempsey. All right. You can even go, well, Michael Bradley. Yeah. Michael Bradley. Go ask anybody. Mm-hmm. He's a fucking pain in the ass to play against. He was arrogant as fuck and he'd take your ass out. No problem. I mean, people don't think of him as a fiery player, but you ask any of his teammates, who was the loudest motherfucker at halftime yelling at people to get their fucking shit together, was Michael Bradley.
Do people not remember Michael Bradley's youth career at all? I mean, he literally, during the U17s, U20s, and so forth, he was literally a fucking bulldog in the midfield, just taking people out, getting stupid yellow cards from time to time. And he kind of smartened up when he went to Europe and, realized you just can't run people over like this.
Right.
But he absolutely had beef to take out. So
John Brooks, he's an asshole. We need assholes. We seriously need assholes on this team. I'm sick of all the nice guys. I'm done with the nice guys. Adams has a nasty streak. Let's see it more. Get on the ass of your teammates. I want to see it more, not less, more. So yeah, I mean, people could say, yeah, this team's soft. Yeah, they're fucking soft. It's a big problem. It's the discussion we had with Lexi this whole weekend in private. This team's fucking soft, and that's an issue. And we've made being a roughneck a bad thing. Well, Wallace said so. I never left that mind of thinking. I never thought, oh yeah, let's just play beautiful soccer. Let's be more beautiful than everybody else. That's how these guys think. That's a problem.
I hated it when Klinsmann came in. It's like we'll figure out what our American identity is. We've had an American identity.
Yeah.
Just keep developing through that. We don't have to completely reinvent the wheel. And who were we talking to, or who did we listen to that talked about this was the first generation of players who had to build the ball up instead of playing the counter style that we used to play.
I don't remember who it was, but it might have been.
I think it might have been Pete.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's truth behind that.
And imagine this. This is crazy. But Klinsmann still wasn't happy with the nastiness of that team. He still was constantly saying in interviews, "Oh, we're not tough enough. We're not mean enough. Oh, we need to step on some toes." You know, but we had hard asses on that team. Now we got none. Maybe the closest thing to a hard ass we have on this team is Adams. Then he's 5'7", so he's not exactly an imposing figure. And he's compared to those two guys, Dempsey and Jermaine Jones. He's soft as a pillow. Honestly, he is. I'm sorry, he just is. Jermaine Jones would fucking split Adams' leg in half if they went in for a tackle together. And Jones wouldn't think twice about it. So this is what needs to be talked about. Not that they don't care, right? It's not that they're soft. They're fucking soft. That's the problem, and that's what we need to hammer.
So this KC25 says we need a Maloney.
Maloney's not soft, but right now he can't fucking get a game for Mainz because they don't play Heidenheim ball, right? Heidenheim played basically 4 defenders with Maloney sitting in front of them. Well, that's not how Mainz plays, and Mainz are on their way to the Champions League.
Heidenheim played with 2 center backs and Maloney in front. Their backs just got up.
That's true.
Long.
But
so
he was essentially a third center back.
Oh, 100%, yes.
Well, Mainz don't play that way. So unless they're winning 2-1, they need to close out the last 10 minutes of the game. Guess what? Maloney's not coming on. If they need a goal, Maloney's not coming on. If they're up 3-0, Maloney's not coming on. It's a waste of a person. Not going to do it. So, yeah, I think this was probably a bad pick for him as far as the team he went to. Yeah. It didn't look like it on paper because we recommended he go to Mainz. But at the time, Mainz was mid-table, not top 5. So things have changed.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that was a little bit of a tangent off. I mean, it was all relevant, don't get me wrong. We were talking about Pulisic earlier, but then we kind of got swept into the Josh Sargent one. So I figured I might as well make my point now rather than coming back to it later, which makes no sense to do. So obviously, Sargent scored this weekend. Game winner at the end of the match. And people are like, well, I can score for Norwich. We can't score for the U.S. men's national team because he sucks, blah, 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 et cetera, all that shit. But in the end, it comes down to the style of play. And I'm not saying that Sargent doesn't get opportunities. He gets his opportunities with the U.S. men's national team. And yes, he's missed some. He's had some blocked. Unfortunately, none have just gone in. But as a whole, looking at the 2 games, this past weekend's game and the Panama match, and there's glaring obvious differences here.
Yes.
So in the Norwich game, he had 35 touches. It wasn't even his cleanest game. There's some ugly play in there. But against Panama, he only had 8 touches. What does that tell us? For the most part, it tells me that Norwich is constantly pushing the ball. Well, I've watched Norwich play enough.
Yeah, they're looking for him.
They play quick and they look for him up top.
Yeah.
Whereas the Panama match, we talked about it ad nauseum, that we reverted back to Berhalterism. The Berhalter ball is, where we just horseshoe it around, slowly, methodically move it up the pitch, and then try to create something. in that match, though, our nines were going to be surrounded by 3 center backs in that back 5. Not to mention defensive midfielders who come in. I mean, there's just little to no space for them to lob balls into to score goals. It was a bad play, a bad decision on how to address that game.
So,
but saying that, I still don't even think that was a bad game for Sargent either. So
I don't think it was bad. Something Poach didn't like about it, that's for sure. But a couple things there. One, the interview when he was still at Norwich before going over to play for the U.S. men's national team he did with Norwich TV. He talked about being kind of a little nervous about the U.S. men's national team game, and he knew it was his big chance and that he had to make the most of it, and that he was a little nervous about it. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not broadcasting that. I'm the best fucking striker in the EFL. I am not telling anybody I'm nervous. I'm not saying shit about being nervous. I'm saying I'm going to go there and I'm fucking going to kick some ass. That's my plan. I'm going to kick some fucking ass. That's the attitude he needed to bring, but the attitude he did bring wasn't good enough, I think. I think you need to come into this U.S. men's national team saying, fuck Pulisic. I'm the man. I'm the guy that's going to score goals now. I'm here. I'm the best fucking striker in the EFL. I am the man. Give me the... I don't know about you, and I know you played center forward, and I know you were an arrogant motherfucker at center forward, and I know that my center forward for my 3 seasons playing high school ball, Chad McGowan, was probably the most arrogant prick on the team. But we loved him because he scored. And we didn't care if he was an asshole. We needed him to be an asshole and demand the ball. And that's what's got to happen. If you're Sargent, you can't go to the national team and go, well, I'm not really the big guy here. That's Pulisic. I'm going to settle. I'm going to play my role. Maybe he was told to play a role. We don't know. That's the other thing we don't know. But still, it's just about the attitudinal thing that I think we need to fix. And that's across the board. Across the fucking board right now. And McKennie, we need the McKennie who really showed up for the Mexico game and almost got in a fight and had his shirt ripped off. That's the McKennie we need every fucking game. I don't want to see you helping keep guys up from the other team. I don't want you having laughs and banter with the opponents. I don't want to see any of that shit. It's time to get serious. It's time to get serious. There is less than the World Cup is coming up here. When are we going to start taking this fucking serious? I don't remember Dempsey ever helping anybody up from the ground ever.
It's like, so I know every now and then we bring up clips from Ted Lasso, but in the 3rd season when they do the international play and Danny Rojas is going against Zorro, it's Mexico versus Canada, and Zorro's like constantly like, hey, that's my teammate. Hey, buddy. Hey, Danny, you want some chips? And he's looking over, pulls down his glasses, he grabs the chips and just crumbles them into pieces and then dumps them.
Yeah.
We are now enemies. We are not friends, type of thing.
Exactly.
And then it's like we're our team is full of that the mentality that Zorro had. Hey, that's my friend over there. Hey, I talked to him. I play FIFA with this guy,
This is serious now. These aren't just games that you're going to fucking mindlessly maneuver through and just win because you are who you are. These are fucking serious ass games. The World Cup is upon us, and yet we got a bunch of soft motherfuckers out there. I'm sorry. Yeah. And Pulisic can say, people can say we didn't put enough effort. Well, no, you didn't put in enough effort. And the reason enough effort didn't happen was because a team that's fully got a chip on their shoulder, that's nasty and ready to come out and compete and wants to show the world they're as good as everyone's talking about, comes out and plays harder than that. And I don't mean runs more, because they gave that effort. They ran in that second game versus Canada. They were running everywhere. I'm not talking about running. I'm talking about getting stuck in. I'm talking about this is not a friendly. This is not a friendly game, and you're not our friends, and we're not helping you up, and we're going to be nasty. We're going to be nasty. This team's missing that so much in spades. And that's what the last day and a half I've been thinking about, especially with my convo with Wallace. The more we talked about it, the more I'm like, you know what? He's absolutely fucking right. And we already thought that anyhow, but now it's really solidified in my mind when he described, how they used to see themselves in 94, 98, which was, hey, we knew we had to come out and be nasty and mean and bastards and fuck, we did whatever we had to win. Well, that needs to come back because we're not that good that we can abandon that. We're not that good. This team isn't made up of a bunch of fucking Messies. All right. We don't have a single Messi on our team. All right. Sorry.
Real quick, since we got super chat, but I've had this pulled up for about the last 15, 20 minutes now. T wants to know, well, what does it mean for that when we describe what hero ball is?
I mean, you described it pretty well last time. That's when, Pulisic decides he's going to put his head down and not look for anybody else and just try to beat the whole team, other opposing team all by himself.
Yep. It's basically when the game may not necessarily be going our way. Pulisic feels he has to put the team on his shoulders and do it all.
Yep.
That's what it feels like.
At the detriment to his teammates, who sometimes stand around open. And he's got his head down and he's charging.
The irony behind it all is that anytime he always plays the hero ball game, that's always his worst game. Some of his worst games.
Absolutely is. And we pointed out live sometimes and other times not when he does it. Albert or Albert, depending on where he's from, for $4.99. By the way, Matthias Albert this weekend. Kid's good. Really good. So we'll see what happens. For $4.99, I had an idea to improve the team and the attendance. I don't think we should play a single friendly at home next cycle. Well, that can't happen. It's kind of like when I posted up the info about us playing Germany next March. Somebody said, well, we need to play that in Germany. That ain't happening. They're all coming here to prep. The other teams from other continents, they're coming here to prep for the World Cup.
Well, he says next cycle.
Next cycle. Okay, after this is over.
Yeah, after 2026.
I mean, that'd be great. Yeah, go overseas and have to play every single game overseas for a while. Fuck it.
I wouldn't even be upset with our rankings dropping more than they're already dropping, quite frankly, right now. Just so that way we get that experience of being the underdog again.
And I mean, they're all in Europe already. It's a shorter travel.
Yeah. Well, then again, we come across the same problem we always have, right? It's always Nations League is fucking us over.
Yes.
Not our Nations League, but European Nations League. Then you mix in World Cup qualifiers, you have Euros, you have all the other Confederation Cups. I mean, it's
so what Brett is saying,
tougher.
Albert, what Brett is saying here is this isn't possible anymore because of Nations League in Europe, because of various tournaments. If it's not World Cup qualifying, you're talking about the Euros. Yeah, it's hard to schedule teams in Europe to play now during the international breaks because it's full of other tournaments, whether it be qualifying for next, it'll be the European Championships. Yeah. And, Nations League, it makes it really hard to schedule friendlies against anybody but some odd-ass Asian country or African country or, Canada or Mexico.
Even though taking all that into consideration, though, the friendlies we do get, the ones where we're always going to be playing the Costa Ricans, Panamanians, the Canadians, or whatever, Mexico. I know Mexico's always going to be held in the U.S., whatever it is, what it is. But why aren't we playing more of these friendlies against Panama and Panama? Do we really need a fifth Panama match in the United States?
Money.
No, it is 100% money. I agree.
Yep.
That's what it's all coming down to.
Right. Okay. So that's why that's not going to work. But it's a good idea. We'd love to see it, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. Lamar Reynolds for $5. Thank you, Lamar. If the USA did not have auto qualify for the World Cup, would they make it next year? I think so. I still think they're top 4 team in the federation, but it would be a bitch. It wouldn't be that easy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when it comes, I know that's a meaningful game in the Nations League. We played like shit, and of course in Copa we played like shit. I don't know, but no, I think we still would have qualified. We definitely would have qualified if we're not out for this one because like 8 teams from CONCACAF are qualified.
Yes, it's like
we're running out of teams to qualify in our federation.
Right, with the expanded World Cups, by the way, guys. Yeah, we would have made it because way more teams make it now. Even if we play Bolivia away, it would help. Yeah, Bolivia, not the greatest team, but away, you got to go play in the mountains. and you can't breathe, that certainly make it tough. Playing in Bolivia is always tough.
Having the 12th man there too, though, the audience. I mean, that plays a factor. Even if you're playing a team that's of lesser quality.
And can we be really honest though? All our home games are away games anyhow.
Yeah, it's very true.
So it's like we are already playing in away games. If you're talking about if we're talking about atmosphere, right? Those are all away games. They're all rooting for the other team.
Bring the games back to Columbus.
I mean, not the Canada game, but nobody was there. And that's another thing that needs to be fixed. One of the reasons that people don't watch this team is they see a bunch of fucking pussies. I really do believe that.
Well, I know it's been $150 to go watch that game.
My brother thinks they're a bunch of limp dicks. He misses the fucking Dempseys and the Jones and even Donovan. Right? Who wasn't known for being a brash. Well, he's brash, but he wasn't like physical. But, he gave it his all.
He brought other aspects to the game, though. His physical game not there, but everything else was.
He watches this team. He's like, he texts me. He's got a bunch of pussies on this team. Dude, okay. And this is how I used to say, well, okay. I mean, they're not the old school guys. I get it. But I'm like, they're better players. Well, fuck that. I'm not saying that shit anymore. He's right. They are pussies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just finishing up the Pulisic topic and moving on to the next player here in a second. Here's the take. I think a lot of people are feeling about Milan, quite frankly.
Well, I mean, I get it. Who's Luca Marchigiani? I don't know who that is. Is he some important AC Milan guy? I don't know who he is. The only players worth keeping on this team are Reinders and Pulisic. No, you got to keep Teo. You got to keep Leao.
He's a former Italian player.
Okay. Magic Mike. It's not that bad. I can't blame these goals on Magic. Has he made mistakes this season? Yeah. He has. But I'm keeping him too. But the rest of them, yeah, shovel them, get rid of them. Go bring in some new, better center backs would be a good start.
When I read this, I thought only players worth watching. I don't know why I read it like that. Yeah, you're right. There are definitely other players on the team that you keep besides those two. But that's why I read it, and I thought it said watching. You said keeping. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, you got to keep Leao. I mean, look, when he came in yesterday at second half, it was like night and day for AC Milan. Night and day. So you got to bring him on. You can sell off a bunch of guys that didn't amount to a heap of anything. Chuck Wazy. The hell signing was that? Santi? I don't know. You just paid a lot of money. He's going to have to stay. Yeah. Paid a lot of money for that guy. And then what's his face? The Portuguese kid who's just fucking awful.
Felix?
Yeah. Now Felix.
Yeah.
Leao linked to Chelsea. Okay, well, that's believable, obviously, but I don't know. João Felix got to go. Did you see Kyle Walker chewing out João Felix at halftime?
Nope.
It's like, hey, pass the fucking ball. You're not fucking Messi. Pass the fucking ball. Something like that, generally. All right. This is kind of cool from Christian Pulius Caesar. A bit too pusillanimous, if you ask me. Step up and demand the PK. Pusillanimous. I've never used this word. But lacking courage and resolution, marked by contemptible timidity. Yeah, I don't know if he thinks that it comes off that way. He may think, Pulisic, it made him look like a good teammate. No.
Yeah.
You were a poor teammate. That was a poor decision, giving up the ball to a guy who's going through a rough time when you're down 2-0. Yeah. Make a better decision, you wanker. And I'm sorry getting all on these guys, but I'm done. I am going to be all over these fucking guys' nutsacks until they show me some real heart, some real grit. I want to see grit and fight. And I spend my whole fucking weekends watching these games, and I got to watch lame-ass performances. Like that Pulisic performance in the first half for AC Milan and the whole team, basically for AC Milan. They all sucked. I was texting Brett, I can't believe I'm wasting my fucking time on this.
Yeah.
Right? And I had then watched the Juventus game. Was that before or after? I can't. Doesn't matter. I want to stick a fucking ice pick in my skull. It was like listening to Stu Holden speak. All right? Like a little girl. No, I'm just kidding, Stu. All right. I don't want to.
I like how you recycled that from Stu Holden. Too.
Yes.
So I'm like, maybe Stu's off the chopping block here. Of requiring Derek to shove an ice pick in his eye.
I think
now it's on to somebody else.
I said skull, I think.
Oh, could be.
I want to shove an ice pick in my skull. Yeah, I mean, this has been painful. And then I watched the PSV boys. Oh, it's just not good. I had a rough weekend, Brett. I really did. You're thinking, oh, I got a weekend. I get to do the stuff I do around the house, and I can watch some games. It'll be great. No.
I think I was in my house for all of maybe an hour or two.
I know you're
aside from sleeping. My weekend was jam packed. I didn't get to watch shit.
You got kids. That's why I'm here. My kids are gone. They do their thing, so they're grown adults. I don't have to do shit on the weekends anymore. You got to put in your time. But you didn't miss anything. You missed Cardosa with a really great goal, and you missed a pretty good, performance, a decent performance by Sarge. Other than that, and we'll go through this, you did not miss dick squat this weekend, missing all those games.
It is nice having you as my litmus test as far as what to watch. There's always going to be. I always try to go out of my way to watch Norwich. I don't shy away from the fact that I'm a Sarge fanboy, sure. But I'm objective about it too, though. I think personally.
Yeah. Alex Caven says Richards did well. Yeah. He was competent. He was good. He was fine. He didn't do anything amazing, but he was good. More disappointing for me as a Fulham fan is the way the fucking Fulham played.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that, and I thought about texting you, but I thought you were already on a watch list. So,
oh fuck that, yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe how bad they played.
Now, man. Don't poke the bear.
They played horribly, and Jedi played pretty bad. Pretty like.
He's recovering from an injury that prevented him from playing.
Oh, sure, absolutely. They did pull him in the 70th or somewhere like that, but he just wasn't himself, and he hasn't been for probably 2 weeks now, week and a half. Of EPL games and cup games, just not. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, this isn't the guy a few weeks ago or a month ago who was just smoking people in the EPL. Something's up with Jedi right now. He's in a little bit of a slump.
Imagine it's just sheer exhaustion.
Oh, I might be harsh because he just had a fucking 2-week break.
Yeah, he's like I said. I don't know what kept them from. What did keep them from the window? What injury was it?
They didn't say.
Oh, that's nice.
Remember, we have no specifics about Cardoso's injury or Jedi's. You could say they were niggling injuries, but if that's the case, I mean, you got a week to prepare before the game or a handful of days. But maybe you're like, well, all that travel and all that shit as well. I don't want to do that. So, I don't know. People were talking about, well, Jedi should be the new captain. But the way he's playing right now, and then the sort of I don't want to go thing, I've got a little knock, whatever it is. Couldn't have been anything too serious, obviously.
Well, captain for the U.S. men's national team?
Yeah.
Well, let's stop making this more difficult than it has to be. Clear-cut captain as far as managing or running the team itself is Adams.
I know. Somebody
I don't even know why we're arguing this.
Somebody said, but Adams reminds me of too much like Jesse Marsh. And I'm like, no.
I don't give a fuck if it is. He's clear and cut the go-to captain.
He's the only one that holds other people responsible. He's the only one willing to chew another teammate out. And he's a lot more authentic than fucking Jesse Marsh, who's super calculated about what he does. You may think, oh, well, Jesse's just getting wound up. No, Jesse's getting wound up because he's calculated to getting wound. He's even said it in interviews. Yeah, I plan getting wound up sometimes because I know it's going to help the team. What?
His removal in the Canada-USA match was stupid.
Yeah, I don't like over-calculation like that. I don't think being calculated about your emotions. Then it turns into acting, and acting is inauthentic. So that's a problem I do have with Jesse Marsch. Don't act. Just coach. Just be authentic. Be yourself. Don't have to become emotional on purpose. Right? And he does that, and it's got himself in trouble. But John says they're both fake dudes. I don't know. It seems to me that kind of Adams has sort of an anger issue. Remember when he got pulled early for games because he had a set time limit and he yell at Berhalter?
I'm okay with that, quite frankly.
I am too. That's the kind of mode. I don't know. If you guys can send me an example of where Tyler Adams was fake upset or fake mad, let me know. I haven't seen it. So,
all right. Well, here we got unfiltered soccer talking about Gio again.
Okay, what did they say this time? Oh boy,
I feel like I always pick on this kid. He barely played. He barely played over two. And Mauricio Pochettino said he's not fit enough to play in the way we want to play, which you had to know because he's not been playing games, right? There has to be more going on, man, because at least you would have given him 45, 60, 90 minutes just to see what he's about. And there's so many coaches, Tim, now that have not played him.
Pause it there because I agree with the sense of I'm really surprised that Poch, didn't run him out more than the 10 minutes he gave him. At least give him enough rope to hang himself, right?
Yeah, because you're acting like we played a high press or something. Because we didn't. He's not fit enough to mildly jog all over the field like our guys did versus Panama. I think he's fit enough to mildly jog. He's well known for that.
Yeah. And but I will, one thing I'll push back, and not really push back, but argue here is he's just another coach in a long list of coaches that just don't play Gio.
Yeah, there's something going on. He didn't play this weekend, obviously. And
how long has his time at Dortmund more or less just been toast at this point when it comes to the team and the managers?
There's something wrong.
I don't know. We've been saying. I know everybody else has been saying he needs to get out of there, but we've been explaining why he hasn't gotten out there yet.
Right.
But only a couple of months, actually a month away and some change.
Yeah, and he'll go to a lesser, smaller team.
Good.
Will he play? I don't know. He comes to the U.S. men's national team, didn't play, and he's better than all the players that played in front of him that did play.
Well, so, but again, though, that should have been gauged. Poach should have gauged it because now it's still a question. Could Gio come in at some point in that game and made a difference? Absolutely.
He got a whole fucking 10 minutes.
And he had some really good connection play with Aussie on the right-hand side. He had I thought he had a pretty decent 10 minutes, quite frankly.
I just wonder if he's gotten to the point, Reynos, where it's like, fuck it, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know. Like, I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not working. I'm not playing, so...
Yeah. Again, though, with Poach in this situation, though, because he's already mentioned that Gio's going to be with Dortmund in Club World Cup, which I doubt that's going to happen. But at least answer the call and say, hey, I gave him 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You didn't do shit. I don't know what you guys want. Because now the question is still there. Like, maybe he should have gotten more time to gauge him.
Oh, you think Poach cares what we think?
No, not really.
Because he does not care a lick about what we think. None. And until concerns are passed...
He's just sitting there counting his hundreds.
Until concerns are passed down from U.S. Soccer to him, which, good luck that happening, about, hey, it seems like the fan base that doesn't show up for games, so who cares? They don't show up for games, buy tickets. So is this a way of weakening our strength by just being, I don't know. It certainly weakens our influence that we don't go to games. Online, I think there's so much apathy that people have stopped putting pressure on this team because they're so apathetic about the team. They have stopped caring. And when you stop caring, then you can't hold the team accountable for its performances because the voices aren't numerous enough. Whatever they've done, U.S. Soccer, they have certainly created the most apathy I have seen in a long time in U.S. Soccer fans. I have never, when you got Tact and Pete, who are very radically invested in this team, and they have been for a long time, to almost get to the point where they're like, yeah, fuck it, then you're doing something wrong. But that's where we're at, right? Mm-hmm. And if there's that much apathy, then the loud voices of anger and disappointment stop vocalizing themselves. Then you can sit around in the proverbial burning building, right? The proverbial burning building and say, everything's fine here.
Casanova goes, did Derek just call us all pathetic?
No, I did not.
It's funny because when you said apathetic and everything, the first thing that came to mind was the TV show Psych. There's a point where have you ever seen or understand what that show is even about?
No
about
idea.
A psychic detective, and then the psychic he pretends to be psychic but he's just hyper aware of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this person goes up to him like, "Well, you're really prophetic." He goes, "I'm not prophetic. You're prophetic." Same kind of concept there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Green Great Basin for $1.99. I don't know what is the Green Great Basin. Sounds like an environmental thing that I probably should know. Johnny greater than Tyler. Greg is right for the job, Adams. Yeah, I get it. That's irritating. But he wasn't the only player to do that. You'd have to probably lump in another 4 guys. Weah, Pulisic, who came to Greg's.
Didn't Weston more or less say the same thing?
No, well, Wes said something different. He said, it doesn't matter who the coach is.
That's fair.
He said, we're good enough to win, whoever it is. So,
not so much anymore.
Right. And then, Reem would be the way everyone should have answered, which is, it's not my job to pick a manager. That's what everyone should have said. You needed to not fucking wax Greg's dolphin. It was completely unnecessary.
It's hysterical. Reem is so wise, but that comes with age, I guess.
Well,
he had that comment. He's like, dude, I'm not the one that fucking picks the coaches. It's not my decision.
Stop
he also
asking me
has
that.
the thing with Gio Gate. He goes, I could have swore this was all resolved in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes.
Yep.
That's who we need. That's who we need more of.
Yeah, too bad he's not 10 years younger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Where what is it? The wisdom is wasted on the young or whatever?
Yeah,
or
it certainly is.
I guess. Wasted on the old, but
yeah, it is.
Everywhere he's been. I just want more for this kid. I do. And I'm just disappointed every time.
I don't quite know. Matt Turner's not playing, right? I don't know of a professional player. Is he fit enough to play 2 times 90 minutes? If you want to argue no, I'll accept that. I'm saying if you're a professional football player and you have a contract as a professional, you are fit enough to, and you're not injured, you're fit enough to at least play 50, 60 minutes over the course of 2 games. So I think the selection disappoints me. Now, Gio doesn't disappoint me, but I'm disappointed in the fact that if we're giving players opportunity to play and the prerequisite isn't you have to be playing for your club to play for this national team, then I'm disappointed that we didn't see him. Gio.
It's kind of the pause for a second there, but
yeah, no, he's right. It is disappointing, and it was actually a little bit surprising.
Well, I mean, Poach came in to the U.S. men's national team saying that if you're not playing for your club, you're not playing for the Nats. And I know our goalkeeper situation is up in the air at this point. But I mean, he's definitely allowing Turner to skirt that. So then,
yeah. Well, here's the tough thing. So far with Poach's, first of all, non-recruiting ass, as far as we understand it, with Nathaniel Brown, and so far what we just saw. Did we get better since Berhalter? Or are we worse? I don't know.
Mentally speaking, well, not talent-wise, but mentally speaking, yes.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Really seriously wrong. And you can't get rid of Poach now because we paid. We paid. Cha-ching!
Yep.
But, yeah, I didn't think this would go this sour this fast, but it has. And, yeah, a lot of us were happy to have a new manager. And a lot of us were happy it was somebody who coached in the Premier League for several good teams as well, outside the Premier League and in the Premier League. And now I'm just wondering, this clown doesn't really know how to run a fucking national team. It's nothing like running a club team. Nothing.
Again, so far, I think I think the numbers are leaning more towards the bad games. But for a while, there was like you'd have a good game and then there'd be a bad game. And then we had a whole window of good performances, and then we have a whole window of bad performances. So it's like it's such a hot cold type of approach with Poach at this point. He needs to find that middle ground, and quite frankly, not tinker so much with it. And the sad thing is, for the most part, he's playing the players that are available to him.
Yeah,
but something's just not clicking there.
Save one Garcia's comment, which passed.
All right, real quick. Scuff says that Jack McGlynn's passing is Gio level.
Well, he's a fucking idiot.
Sorry, who am I pulling up again? You here?
Jay Garcia, I can't remember. Started with stop, Derek.
Stop, Derek. Yeah.
Stop. Derek, stop with the Brown recruit. He's not changing this team. Who fucking cares? He's a great player. Let's recruit him. Okay. I'm not saying suck his dick. I'm not saying sending him flowers. Just say, hey, give him a call. Hey, we're watching. We care. Keep it up. That's it. Nothing more. And if he wants to come play with us, great. If not, not. Is he going to change the team? No. Probably won't, because this team's soft. You're right about that. And I don't think adding him is going to make this team hard. All right? I don't know who the blue pill is. I don't know who that's going to be. I don't see one anywhere.
One could argue that with Jedi's absence this past window, Brown certainly would have changed the team a bit.
Yes. Now, if Jedi's out, sure as hell he changes this team. But if we're talking about the overall theme that we've been talking about being soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that he changes that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that I mean, one player coming in can change how a team approaches something. Like you could inspire the team to do so, but on that level of softness, one person's not going to make the difference. It's an overall arching mental change that has to occur.
Usually need a couple guys.
Yeah.
Dempsey, Jones. Yeah, that'll make everybody else hard. Not because they're sexy, but because they need to be. All right.
E. Bailey says, dude, I don't think we've been gritty since Jermaine Jones left. It's a fair assessment.
No, we haven't been. Jermaine Jones was the grit along with Dempsey, and we had other guys. Obviously, all the old school guys were gritty as fuck. Lawless, Winalda, even Claudio Reyna had some balls. Anyhow, Johnny's saying Reem is soft. No, he's not. He's not soft. He's just old. McBride could take an elbow to the head and keep going. All those guys from that era were all gritty because they had to be.
Had to be. Yeah.
They were down on the skill level overall as a team. They had to make it up somewhere else. So guts and grit. So
there's also an argument to be made that even the skill level is fine, but we were very much a counter-attacking style team, which means that we played a very blue collar direct play. I mean, I feel like any one of our strikers at that age, or from before this group of kids we have now, would be just as prolific in the air with balls being delivered to them. Actually, more prolific in years past. So I'm not sure why we continue to try to do this crossing game when we aren't a crossing team at this point. We have nobody that's really up in the air fighting for that shit.
Well, then we get to the point where Tact is posting up stuff saying, well, we need to be counterattack team. Okay.
No, he says terrorist club or terrorist ball team.
Yeah, we're probably never ever going to get back to that far into terrorism ball, but
what's up here?
But honestly, in order to pull that off, you need to have a team full of grit. He says at some point we're going to have to accept the fact that the U.S. men's national team will have to become a soccer terrorist and turn into 1-0 merchants to accomplish anything at the World Cup. Listen, we're not turning into that. We're just not. We don't have the grit. We don't have the guts. We don't have the balls. We don't have the ball sack to play that kind of gritty terrorist ball. When he says it, he means it more tactically. But to do it tactically, to be Atletico Madrid and play gutsy, ballish ball, you got to have some balls. And we don't have any. Yes, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it tried. I'd like to play teams that are better than us, especially hit them on the counter. But it takes guts, effort, grit. Do we got any of those? We got effort because Brendan Aronson will run around like a chicken with his head cut off for fucking 90 minutes if you tell him to. But where's the grit? He'll also fall over at a breeze. That's gotten better, but it still happens all the time at Leeds. Tackle? Who's the guy at the end of the tackle that's on the ground usually when Brendan Aronson goes in for a tackle? Brendan Aronson is the guy on the ground. The other guy's up with the ball and still going somewhere with it. So, yeah. I don't know how that's going to work with a team not actually mentally built to do that. They are physically built to be you could set up a team that's very defensive with Cardoso and Adams playing the double pivot and play a defensive counterattacking ball. But do you got the gritty ass character to get that done?
We've got an attacking trio that includes the likes of Weah and Pulisic. If we had somebody who could play a long ball over the back, we have players fast enough to outpace most defenders, especially in our area.
Yep.
Balogun's another one that would be well. And this takes us back to who's going to be sitting in front of that double pivot. If you play a defensive double pivot,
I mean,
you have to have a creative mind because that's what Balogun was saying. He's like when he first got here, he's like, "Oh, I like playing in front of Gio."
If it's a perfect world, Gio, but right now the world's not perfect for Gio. And Gio's apparently not doing whatever he needs to do to make his world more perfect. So
okay. I understand that we have to take into consideration Gio as a person himself, and he is very much set in certain ways. And we've talked about how you're going to have to adapt some in order to make it. Most teams don't play with a pure 10, so you're going to have to kind of play a hybrid of some form. But he's also not, like the. I'm going to bust my ass at practice every day type of person. They talked about how during the World Cup in that pre-World Cup match, Berhalter got pissed off because it looked like he was lollygagging throughout it.
After he had already told him he's not playing.
Sure. But then, but you get to think about who, all the poach training sessions that we've seen on video and stuff like that. And they're out there sprinting, they're lifting heavy weights, and they're doing all this stuff. It's all fast paced and stuff like that. But that doesn't bode well with how Gio presents himself a lot of times. So
yeah,
Poach's point, maybe he doesn't fit Poach's mold while gauging or evaluating him on the pitch during practice.
I don't know.
That's why you got to throw him out there for 45 minutes, give him a chance. Like I said, give him, if anything, give him enough rope to hang himself, and then you can go out to the press if the press had the balls to ask about it and say, "Hey, I gave him the opportunity. He didn't make anything of it."
Right. Yeah. Guess we will never know the inside story of that until maybe years from now. Who knows? But something's not right.
Gio Reyna story.
Something is foul in the state of Denmark, i.e., the U.S. men's national team, which isn't Denmark. That is a Shakespeare quote for those of you who don't know Shakespeare. All right. USA's dropped to 41 in the ELO rankings. Not shocking.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, here's the list. I know you're probably not going to be able to see that very well.
No one yet. No one yet.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
there we go.
Hold on, one sec. I can
You
do
had
this
it there for a second. Yeah.
Walk a day with this way.
There we go.
So the last time we were because we're dropping to 41. The last time we were anywhere lower than that was 2019.
Yeah.
I was at rank 43. But look, through all this time period, even there we go, and up until 94. Since we made our big splash in 94, we've never been at a lower rating than we are now. Outside of 2019.
John says the fake ratings don't mean poop. Okay, maybe not. But doesn't what we've been seeing, isn't that relevant? Isn't that meaningful? The way we are playing makes us look like we are the 40th.
The actual number doesn't mean shit. I mean, it's all numbers and it's an algorithm. Saying that you're 41 or whatever, but the thing is the trajectory. The only way you're going to be going down in the numbers is if you're sucking.
Yes.
If you're losing games over and over again, meaningful games,
to teams you're not supposed to lose to, like Panama.
You're missing Panama. Losing even to Canada. When you look at the rankings, we were still above Canada. I mean, you're still losing those games, and those games are what's showing the trajectory going downward. Now, this could just be a slump. Could be a year-long slump that we've been in, and we wake up eventually. But it describes the trajectory of the team. So
yes,
that's the way I look at it. Fuck the number. Who cares?
In that way, it's relevant. By the way, Electric Light Orchestra, Larry, is a great band. ELO, great band. A lot better in our ranking. All right. What else?
Did you want to go over the rest of the Yanks Abroad? Because that's pretty much all we have left at this point.
Yeah, can you put up my rating system?
Oh, fuck. 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I accidentally clicked off of
that. Because this is when I'm watching over the weekend, this is how I kind of looking at it. How did the player do? Did they stand out? Were they a ghost? What was their problem? By the way, for the 155 of you who were here at one point, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma. So these are my different, how I watch the game. Are they atrocious? Do I want to stick a fucking ice pick in my skull after watching the game? Are they poor? Are they meh? Ghosted? Hardly noticed them? Were they competent? Better than that is good. Were they good? They're actually good in the game. Then you could be excellent in a game. Then you could have a man of the match performance. Best player on the pitch. I start with Haji Wright. And I'm going to have to give him a He ghosted. Not all his fault. Didn't give much service. He went 77 in that loss. Tessman, 85 in a loss. Again, meh. He was there. He played defense. Couldn't pass the fucking ball.
And I think, like I mentioned before the show started, I'm pretty sure most of our players week in, week out are going to fall anywhere between that good and meh positioning, with the occasional excellent and man of the match performances here and there.
Probably. Milcevic, Huracan went 80 minutes in Argentina in a tie. They sit in the top half of the table, top 6, I believe. So, yeah, he played for us, so I got to keep track of him now. Bello, 90, and Adeniran, 46 for Lask and a win. Good for the Austria, the guys playing in Austria there. Also, Jasson, 46 for AAB in Denmark in a loss. Zach Booth, 13 minutes for Excelsior in a win, down in the second division. Jalen Hawkins also down in the second division. 90 minutes and a goal and a win for Emmen. So they're doing pretty well lately. Koleosho, a whole 1 minute for Burnley. Boy, has this been a wake-up call for him.
Koleosho, you mean?
Wow, it's just been a wake-up call for not only Burnley, but I'm sure all American fans are watching him play, well, in this case, not play, but 1 minute in extra time. Yeah, he's fallen off a cliff this season. Ethan Horvath, 90 minutes and a tie. Brendan Aronson got the goal in like the first minute of the game. I got excited, but then I started thinking as I'm watching the game, they'll blow it. And they did. They blew it. And now they're sitting number 2 in the table when it looked clearly like they were going to run away with the EFL championship this season. They have gone back to doing what Leeds does. Oh, yeah, we're great. We're awesome. We're the best team. Oh, shit. Now we're not. And
yeah,
yes,
they just want to make the playoffs. So that way they
and they're
yet again
force themselves back in the playoff spots. Melier.
In comparison, what do they have? They played 46 games in a season, correct? I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting 18 points out. 18 points from where they were last season, and still made the playoffs at 99 points. Remember that?
Yep.
Fucking stupid.
Unbelievable. Leave it to them. They'll figure out a way to fuck it up. Aiden Morris, 90 minutes in a pretty good game for, I would say he was good for Middlesbrough in this game. Caleb Wiley actually got some time, played the game for Watford, got 90 minutes in a tie, and he was good. So another good. That's good. Josh Sargent, 90 minutes and a goal and a win. He was good. Wasn't excellent. He was good. The goal was excellent, but generally his play was good. Daryl DK was in the 18 in that game for West Brom, but unsurprisingly didn't play. Lyndon Gooch is back and healthy, so he's back in the 18, didn't play. Sands is injured in Germany. Noah Kai Banks is in the 18, didn't play. Kevin Paredes in the 18, didn't play. Joe Scally went 71 in a win. I would say he was competent in that game. I was a little bored watching it, frankly. Jonathan Tolkien in the 18, so he's back from injury, but didn't play. Busio, 89 minutes in a loss for Venezia. They are going down. There's no way around it. They're going down. He was competent in the game. Competent. Although I did lose my focus watching that game, I have to tell you. Got a little bored. Nathaniel Brown, 90 minutes in a win.
Real quick. Frank wants to know, did Scally get hurt?
It doesn't seem like it's serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when the Fatmov had a little injury.
Yeah. He did come out, but it didn't look like they didn't have to carry him off the field or anything. So I think he'll be fine. And then reading the reports afterwards the next day, no news on it. So doesn't seem like it's that serious. Nathaniel Brown, 90 minutes in a win for Frankfurt. This is against Stuttgart. He played amazingly. He was great. Chandler, by the way, still injured for Frankfurt, which how he got injured, I don't know. How? Crawling out of bed to take a piss? He doesn't play, but apparently he's injured. But Nathaniel Brown, I put it between good and excellent on this one. He was really good. I'll give him an excellent. Weston McKennie, 90 minutes for Juventus and Weah 8 minutes in a game I wish I didn't watch. I wish I could stop watching this diarrhea called Juventus, but I'm watching it for you guys.
If you want Derek this next weekend, I'll make sure to watch Juve game. You can watch something else, and then I'll say, "Hey, Derek, give it a look," or "Derek, don't bother."
Don't bother. I would give McKennie a competent, and then Weah, he missed a big chance. So I'm going to say he poor.
I was going to say, like, how could you possibly grade him with 8 minutes? But then you're like, it's a big chance.
I mean, if I had to grade him, I'd say it was poor. You don't miss a chance like that. I'm sorry.
Untouchable says, Juventus makes me question why I like this sport.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's horrible to watch. And then
says, you don't have to watch Juve. LOL.
Yes, I do. For the show, I do.
Yeah. You lose out on evaluating 2 players.
Yeah, and it's 2 for 1, which is great. I always love it when we get that's why PSV is a great watch. It knocks out several stones with one throw.
When Juve play AC Milan, even better.
Yeah, it knocks out several birds with one stone. That's how that goes, Derek.
Knocks out several stones with one bird.
With one throw. I'm making up my own little cliches. I knocked out several stones with one throw.
And with the fumbling of Juve recently, are they still? Nope, they're in 5th.
Oh no, they're kind of fucked.
Well, I mean, they're only 2 points behind Atalanta, who's in 3rd. So I mean,
well, they better hope some help. Anyhow, Chris Richards.
Bologna's been on a tear.
Bologna,
I know.
Give me some bologna and mustard on my sandwich. All right, Chris Richards, 90 in that win for Crystal Palace. We already said he was competent to good. Turner on the bench. So not playing the cup games anymore. And that was against Jedi, who I have to say was poor. To me. That's not the Jedi. I have high standards. I'm sorry, I'm a Fulham fan. When he's not contributing, something's not right. That's poor. That is a poor game for him. And then Quincy Butler, former Hoffenheim and Sacramento player. What did he do? I can't see my notes. I can't read. Anyhow, he's also in Austria, by the way. He plays for Tyrol, who are 4th. And he has 4 goals this season in 20 games. So I didn't even know Quincy Butler was there. I remember when he was a youth player.
I remember that name. Yeah, I remember that name.
Yeah, and I wondered where he went. Well, he ended up in Austria. Okay.
Where was he again when his youth?
Hoffenheim.
Okay.
He was at Hoffenheim. Yep. But now he plays for Tyrol in Austria, and he's a regular guy, and he's got 4 goals this season, and I just didn't know. So I found him. Also,
Fumar's comment. Fumar goes, Quincy Butler sounds black.
And he is. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Castaneda, 90 minutes in a loss. Down in the 2 Bundesliga. They now sit 3rd out of 18, so they're still in the promotion zone area. So we'll see what happens there. That was against Dominic Downs, who's still injured from his pinky injury to his hand. But you know what? They're going up because they sit 1st out of 18 teams. So no worry for Downs.
I'll bring that super chat up after we're done with the Yanks Abroad.
CCV, 90 minutes in a win. Trusty was in the 18. Didn't play in a win. Let's see. Reyna in the 18 for Dortmund. Didn't play. Campbell still injured. Did I say Damien?
No, did you say Dominic as well?
Dominic.
I don't know. Untouchables hurt him, man.
This is why you don't have, if you have a friend named Dominic Downs, you are fucked. Because it's not getting out of my head. Sorry, I had a friend named Dominic Downs as a kid. All right. Maloney in the 18 in that game versus Reyna. Nobody played. Pulisic, 78 minutes. We already talked about the limp dick handing the ball over to Santi. Thinks they're not going to go in there. And Musa was out because of card accumulation. Cardoso, a goal in 90 minutes in a win for Batiste. Great goal. I would give him a good game. Put him in the yellow. Adams, a loss. 90 in the cup game for Bournemouth. I would put him in his, this is like not a good game for him. It was poor. I'm giving him a pink. The darker pink. He might
stink, I guess.
He might like that, actually. Paxton Aronson, 90 minutes in a win for Utrecht, which is good. They're getting back on track. They're 3rd. Let's see what happens there. Paredes, we already mentioned. Dest, 77, mostly meh, ghosted minutes. Didn't really get too involved. And yeah, he's rusty, and it looks like it. And then Ledesma came in and went meh as well for 13 for him. Then Tillman went 45, and he looked poor. I mean, he had some moments, but I can't say he ghosted because he played. But it wasn't the usual Tillman we're used to at PSV. By the way, somebody mentioned where's Brooks. He's at Hertha Berlin. He's
sitting on his couch at home is what he's doing.
Yeah, he's been injured all season. And then Maurice Malone, 69 minutes, not the best position, in a win for Austria Vienna versus Linz. Beautiful city, Linz. Oh, God, go there if you get a chance. Pookstus in the 18 didn't play. Woo, what's going on there, buddy? Your boy, your Juventus boy, doesn't like him very much. Center defensive midfielder, legend. Oh, AC Milan. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, AC Milan. My bad. But he did coach Juventus, didn't he? Briefly,
No.
Or was that AC Milan?
He coached over at Atletico, I thought, didn't he?
No. The Bulldog. AC Milan legend. Bulldog. Just forgot his name.
Gattuso, right?
Yeah, Gattuso.
Yeah, he coached over at AC Milan.
Yeah, well,
no, not AC. I mean, he coached over at Atletico with the Valencia. Was it with Valencia then?
No,
wherever Musa was at, right?
Did he?
Yeah, he coached with Musa.
But he also coached in Serie A for a second.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ!
He's not my guy. He's not my guy.
Anyhow, he's now coaching.
There you go. They say Napoli.
That's not ringing a bell either. Anyhow, Gattuso is now coaching Hajduk Split, where Pookstus says, and he's not playing him. So there you go.
Summer.
And that was against, amazingly, in that game. So I'm covering the Hajduk game, Split game, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, there's an American playing for the other team? Yes, there was. His name's Aiden Liu. He came in for 2 whole minutes at the end of the game for Sebeniek in the loss to Hajduk Split. And then we head on to Sanderjiski, hoping that Matthew Hoppe will play. Well, he didn't even dress. But Joe Jose Gallegos did, and he went 6 for Sanderjiski in that win. Sanderjiski.
I mean, is Hoppe getting to the Soto range at this point where it's like, why do we even cover at this moving forward?
Yep.
That's so weird.
I know. Max Dietz went 90 in a tie for Greuther. Firth Green is injured. Johan Gomez, 89 minutes for Braunschweig in a tie. Braunschweig. And EPP, I saw that he was on the roster. He didn't start for Panathinaikos, so I didn't bother going back to check. Because you go to Greece and you disappear. Novakovic, 26 minutes and a loss for Bari. They sit 9th. Klinsmann, 90 minutes for Cesena. 8th, is where they sit after that loss. Kevin Lund went the full 90 for the first time in a long time. For Palermo, they sit 7th. Benny Diaz in the 18. Here's another place you go for your career to die. Mexico. Benny Diaz in the 18 for Juarez. Frankie Amaya in the 18 for Toluca. Alex Zendejas, though, the exception to that rule, 75 minutes for America. And then Cal, 90 minutes, surprisingly, in a loss for Chivas. Joe Corona, 20 minutes for Tijuana in a win. What I call? Yeah, Christian Lund, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Christopher Lund.
Christopher. I don't know any of these fuckers' first names. All right.
You should really just go out of left field with the names sometimes.
I'm just going to be making up fucking names. Jesus Hilton, 90 minutes. No, it's not. It's Jonathan Hilton, 90 minutes for Dordek, along with Lawson Sunderland, 13 minutes for Dordek. And Josh Penadath. Yes, that guy. Also, extra time play for him at Dordek. So 3 Americans in the second division playing for Dordek. They lost the game, however, but they do sit 5th out of 20th and still have a chance at getting promoted. By the way, you might be wondering, where's that Christian Kappas guy? Christian Kappas? Well, he's with Viking in Norway, and they lost, and he went 74 minutes.
I love the fact there's a team named Viking.
It's so appropriate. I mean, I would use all Viking lore if I was going to create a team in Norway. If there were a Viking tribe, I would certainly name the team after that tribe. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. And then Conrad, still injured for Lausanne. Pulisic, 78. Well, we already talked about that. No, Des, 75. Tillman, 46. Ledesma, 15. We already talked about it. And then just some standouts for MLS this weekend.
Yeah.
Guys who actually contributed that are American qualified. Jack McGlynn, an assist for Houston. Keaton Parks got an own goal. for New York City FC.
Hey, goal's a goal is a goal. Am I
Good
right?
job, Keaton. Max Arson with an assist for the Crew. Kermashi an assist for Miami. Quinn Sullivan an assist for Philadelphia. Your boy, Andrew Gutman, and an IU graduate, an assist for Chicago. Sealy with a goal for Montreal. Leggett an assist for Dallas. Jack Bauer, a goal for Nashville. I don't know who the fuck that is. Christian Ramirez, a goal for LAG. Alex Mighton, former Nottingham Forest player, now playing for San Diego, got a goal. Listen, I didn't even know Alex Mighton was there. And I was watching the game. I'm like, Alex Mighton plays for San Diego?
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Yeah, he does.
I didn't know San Diego. I thought it was like LA or something like that. But
No, it's San Diego, Alex Mighton. And by the way, it is so like Luca De La Torre totally fucking smokes that whole game. He is the man for San Diego. They are so lucky to have him. They probably want to hold out onto him after this loan because without him, this team not that good. He is that much better in MLS, and it shows. Because the competition's just not as good. He stands out as like the best player on the pitch. And then we go down to, and I missed Marky Delgado, an assist for LAFC. Bo LaRue. I was like, surely this guy's not American. Yes, he is. I thought he'd be French. But he got a goal for San Jose. Bo LaRue is American. Did not know that. Christian Roldan, an assist.
From Louisiana, right?
He might be. I don't think he is, though. Christian Roldan, an assist for Seattle. Peter Stroud, the former West Ham product, an assist for New York Red Bulls. Your former boy, Mihailovic, with 2 goals for the Rapids. And one of those assists came from Omir Fernandez on the Rapids. So that's it. Those are like the names you keep seeing over and over again on a consistent basis is Jack McGlynn. We've heard that several times. Kermashi, we've seen him pop up. Quinn Sullivan. This is probably the second time for Gutman. Christian Ramirez, I think that's his 3rd goal of the season. So there are some names that keep popping up. Christian Roldan and Mihailovic, also names popping up semi-regularly on this list of guys who actually did some shit in MLS that are U.S. possible. Well, they're U.S. eligible. Let's just put it that way. All right, that's all I got. What else?
All right, that's it.
So that's it.
Early night, almost made the 2-hour marker.
Almost. Should I do like a song and dance? Even flow all around like butterflies. All right.
Man, I know that has a history with our show and stuff like that, but we probably should pick a different Pearl Jam song from time to time.
No, I can do lots of different songs. Huh. Like old sun. I don't know. What do you want to do? But I mean, it's just that
Soundgarden.
His voice is very copyable, you know, where it's like Black Hole Sun, Black Hole Sun. I mean, it's not going to be him. I can't do him. His voice is just different. Whereas Eddie Vedder's easily kind of copied because it's so absurd.
Break on to Creed next. Mix up a little bit.
Fuck Creed. I'm not even doing that for a joke. So if you like Creed out there, my bad. You can like Creed, that's fine. But I am a music snob. No way. That ain't passing muster. All right.
People are saying new kits, new kits. Have they announced the new kits yet?
There are new kits out?
Yeah, I've seen a number of people talking about a specific date, but I didn't know if it was now. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, can you take me higher? I remember that one. That's horrible. Can he take you higher? Yeah, obviously. Just take a few more hits. You'll get higher. I know. Okay, so we'll probably do a little show with Lawrence Dockery on the Pro-Rel situation in USL because he covers that as a writer. He's also a referee, but as a writer, he covers the USL. And so he'll be on and we'll do like a, I don't know, 20-minute show with him about Pro-Rel and what that's going to really look like with USL and what he knows that maybe we don't know. Derek needs to read TC Super Chat. Timmy Chandler, listen, dude, I can't. I'm sure it's funny about Timmy Chandler. I happen to really like.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Johnny. I said I was gonna pull that Super Chat up after we're done with the Yanks Abroad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did miss it, Larry. Sorry.
I had it pulled up, but I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense to come in randomly into the Yanks Abroad. I'll pull it up afterwards.
We didn't ban Timmy Chandler for being a fucking German. We didn't ban him for that?
We banned him for fear of flying. That's what we banned him for.
Can you interpret that? No, I don't think he got banned for that either. Although he hates fear. He hated planes. There's no doubt about that. That was shared in private probably, but we ended up just talking about it anyhow. But that was so long ago, it's completely fine to talk about. That's 2011. My mom interviewed Timmy Chandler for Brian Schroeder, or interpreted for him, because Brian doesn't obviously speak German. So, all right, well, we do. I love Timmy Chandler. I thought he's a great guy. So, but we'll see.
He was this close to becoming Derek's new dad.
My mom, no. My mom used to say, I love Timmy, but he's got a funny shaped head. Yeah, he does. It's kind of like Frankenstein-ish. Timmy does have a Frankenstein skull. All right. Anyhow, Frankenberry. Thank you, John. You nailed it. But my mom used to, listen, my mom had little nicknames. She'd say Frankenstein for Timmy. And then little me, or what is it? Little mini me. She used to call Guzan mini me. She used to call what's his face? Sardis Skunkhead.
Skunkhead, yep.
That way she doesn't have to remember the names of the players. She's never really been good at that. Like, she knows the obvious one. Obviously, she knew Dempsey and Donovan were, but when she couldn't really remember the player's name, she just used their code name. Oh, mini me made such a great save. Mini me? You mean Guzan? Yeah, whoever. Yeah, whoever. All right, we'll be back on Thursday after the Lawrence Dockery thing, which we'll probably record tomorrow because amazingly, like Tact, he has his games that he does on, I think it's like a normal thing, Monday, Thursday, our soccer schedule games.
He said he reps Monday and Thursday, so I don't know if that was just for this week or if that's every week, but
I think it's regular because that's the schedule for Tax League as well as Monday, Thursdays.
Well, I mean, they also play in different states, and ref in different states.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It might be a soccer thing. Who knows? It doesn't matter. We'll be back. Say hi to your stepsister. Make sure if you make her a salad that it's tossed properly. And we'll be back on Thursday. Until then, we love you. See you soon. Bye.
That hurt.
I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, just it's a weird one.